fastest show in sports.
While there are certain stories that continue to get traction, we can't walk away from them because it makes no difference in college football this year. With great teams playing, with great upsets, with really exciting games this year. There is nothing that captivates college football more than one old guy sitting in Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
I'll just start with, right off the bat, some of the reports out last week about my looking for a buyout and trying to leave here and all that. It's just categorically false. There's zero truth to any of that. Glad I'm here. We're working towards, our goals and the process. Had great support from, Chancellor Roberts, Bubba, Steve, and so forth. Mike and Barty. It's been, those people have all been great, and I appreciate all their help and everything. And, we just believe very much in the process. Like Bill Walsh said, the score will take care of itself. And I've always believed that. You just got to keep working and grinding away, and that's exactly what we're doing.
What we are flooded with these days are these internet trolls, these clickbait artists, these YouTube clowns, and all of these other people with so-called inside information telling us that Bill Belichick is going to get a buyout. Bill Belichick is working on a buyout. Belichick's trying to work his way out of North Carolina right now. He's trying to save face. Bullshit! You people don't know anything of what you're talking about because you've never covered the man. You've never known being around Belichick. I did it for a short period of time. I only did it for 4 years when I was covering the Patriots. And granted, there are people who have covered the Patriots for 20, 25 years. They know much more than I will ever know. But because I was close to the New England Patriots for 4 years, I got to know some things, and I got to know the people who know the things that they can tell me that they know things, if you get my drift. And there is no way that Belichick would ever try to get a buyout. He's not that kind of guy. You're all just out there tossing it out. And that's why whenever I catch social media and I catch all of this, Belichick's going to do this, and inside sources tell us this about Belichick. Your inside sources are full of shit. Honestly. Because you don't know what's going on in the program. Well, you may know what's going on in the program. Players may tell you, ball boys may tell you, coaches may tell you, other people may tell you things off the record. But you're never going to get it out of Bill Belichick. He is never going to tell you anything that's going to make you go, aha, there it is. Bill just gave me some insight. No, he doesn't. He is the master of saying absolutely nothing. And in his press conference in North Carolina, when he addressed the recent loss, that's what he said. We believe in the process. We're moving forward. All those reports are categorically false. There's nothing to them whatsoever. And I believe there is nothing to them whatsoever. He's not trying to buy his way out. The only way that Bill Belichick is going to leave North Carolina, he will leave by his own hand when he decides. But that's going to be to get back in the National Football League. I completely believe that Belichick took this gig just to be busy and just to prove to himself that he could rebuild a college football program because he couldn't get a job in the NFL. And I'll give you a shot. Try this on for size, okay? Belichick, the one thing that he hasn't done is he wants to be the all-time winningest coach in NFL history. To do that, he's got to get back into the National Football League so he can catch Don Shula. What would happen? Bet you know where I'm going with this one. What would happen if Stephen Ross with the Miami Dolphins let Mike McDaniel coach this season? Go ahead, Mike. Or even just an interim. Doesn't make a difference. Give up on the season. Then come around to 2026. Belichick's been in North Carolina for a year. He wants his son to eventually be the head coach. So he gets everything ready. He changes the process. He brings in different players. He starts to build them up. He rebuilds the program. Ross has got an opening. And Ross talks to Belichick. And then Bill Belichick takes the job as head coach of the Miami Dolphins and is able to become, or at least try to become, the winningest coach in the National Football League in NFL history as coach of Don Shula's old team, the Miami Dolphins. Think about this. It's insane. I have absolutely no inside information here. This is not a source. This is not a rumor. This is none of that clickbait bullshit that goes on social media. I'm just throwing it out there for giggles and grins because I know Belichick. Okay. Look, I'm not the kind of guy who'll have a beer with him. I'd like to have a beer with him. I think it'd be kind of hysterical. You know, even if he brings Jordan along for some giggles and grins as well. But I know Belichick enough to know that he's scheming. He's scheming all the time. And if he can find a way to get back in the National Football League, even at his age, what is his advanced age now? What is he, 142? I mean, even at his advanced age, he's got to go maybe 2-3 seasons. And he's got to have a good coaching staff. And then he's got to win enough games to go ahead and overtake Shula. So, yeah, it does kind of fit for Belichick because it would be historic. Bill would love that he overtook Don Shula while he was coaching Don Shula's old team. Think about that for a moment. As for North Carolina, Belichick is not going to leave. Look, if there's a couple of things about North Carolina that people need to understand. First of all, North Carolina is not going to fire Bill Belichick. They're not going to get him for cause. You're not going to have anybody come in and cancel his contract for a couple of simple reasons.
They can fire him at any time. They would need to pay him $30 million if they didn't fire him for cause. If they do fire him for cause, they would need to show that he, committed some sort of egregious act or that he was engaged in behavior that constituted some sort of lack of institutional control. So the lack of institutional control part is what I think people have been talking about because there's no other grounds currently to fire him for cause under that contract. And again, firing him for cause is the only way to fire him and not have to pay him that guaranteed $30 million.
And again, there it is. They're not going to fire Bill Belichick for cause because anybody who's out there, and this is another one of those clickbait assholeries, if you will, where people are saying that, well, North Carolina is looking to see if they can get Bill Belichick for cause and get out from underneath that $30 million buyout. It's not going to happen. There's no cause here. What has Belichick done? He's eviscerated the program, but he's allowed to do that as head coach. He's kicked out the crappy players. He's allowed to do that as head coach. He's brought in a whole bunch of new players. He's allowed to do that too. And he's pissed off parents who aren't getting their phone calls returned like they did with Mac Brown every single day. And he's allowed to do that too. Belichick hasn't done anything against institutional control of North Carolina. As we've said many times before, he basically took a program that was a middling program that wasn't going anywhere, was never going to contend for an ACC title, if and when the ACC exists in 5 years, but was never certainly going to contend for a national championship, was going to win a few games here and there, make people happy, but that's not what you need right now in this day and age of needing winners and needing to make money and needing that conference buck and needing that TV buck. And North Carolina's not going to get they're going to get their share, but they can't get any more unless they're competitive. And he's in there trying to make them competitive. Has he? No, they suck. But to be fair, he's had to rebuild that program from the bottom. So they're not going to get him for any lack of institutional control. Belichick's the last person to cheat. He's not going to go, and look, it's really even tough to cheat anymore with the transfer portal. I mean, yeah, you got money in there every now and then, but there's really nothing you can call him on. So the only way he's going to leave is if he decides that he wants to leave. And if he decides he's gone as far as he can, and that's why I think he still wants to get back into the NFL. And if he's able to get a job with the Dolphins and that all works out, I think Bill's gone. I think he's in Miami. He's right there running that show. He's right there back in the National Football League. And not only that, but Bill would get almost a perverse laugh out of going up against the Patriots twice a year. And again, he might not get a laugh the way the Patriots are playing because under Mike Vrabel, they're a better team than they were under Belichick or anybody else since him. There's no doubt about it. But Bill is not leaving anywhere. Please, people, do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. Stop believing all this crap on Instagram, on X, on Facebook, on TikTok and all this that says Bill is leaving or they're trying to get rid of him or he's trying to buy out his contract. It's bullshit. It's not happening. Understand the reality of the situation. And the reality of the situation is North Carolina, if they can get away with it, they don't want to give him $30 million. Are you kidding? Hi, Bill. Go ahead and go bye-bye. We'll give you $30 million just to sit on your ass.
Ed Berliner, the fastest show in sports.